People talk about dreams like they're guaranteed. They talk about success like it's a prize waiting to be picked up. But here's the truth. Success doesn't care about your dreams. Everyone wants success. Everyone talks about goals, visions, and dreams. But here's the hard truth. Success doesn't respect dreamers. It respects workers. They cost nothing. You can sit in your room, close your eyes, and imagine a better life. You can talk all day about what you'll become, what you'll achieve, and where you're headed. But until you move, until you act, until you grind, it's all just noise. The world is full of dreamers who never became doers because they fell in love with the fantasy and never learned to fight for the reality. The worker is different. The worker doesn't just dream. They execute. They understand that success demands sweat, repetition, and sacrifice. The worker knows that greatness isn't built in moments of inspiration, but in hours of discipline. While others are still dreaming about the top, the worker is already climbing. The worker doesn't wait for motivation or permission. They show up when they're tired. They stay focused when nobody's watching. They build habits that don't depend on emotion because they know that the grind never lies. You get exactly what you work for, nothing more, nothing less. Talkers wait for the right time. Workers make the time right. Dreamers get excited when they see success on a screen or in someone else's life. But workers get up and create it. The worker's respect isn't given, it's earned through effort, consistency, and resilience. Every early morning, every late night. Every sacrifice is a declaration, a statement that says, I'm not just dreaming it, I'm doing it. The worker doesn't romanticize the process, they live it. They understand that progress is slow, messy, and uncomfortable, but that's where strength is forged. Success respects the worker because the worker pays the price that dreamers avoid. The price of time, the price of energy, the price of rejection, the price of failure. The worker pays them all without hesitation. They understand that each failure is tuition for success, and each setback is a test of character. They don't need to prove anything to anyone else because their validation comes from the process, not the praise. Dreamers chase comfort, workers chase challenge. Dreamers crave recognition, workers crave results. A dream without action fades like smoke, but a worker's effort leaves footprints. Every time they show up and give their all, they're etching their legacy into the foundation of their future. The worker knows that success is not a moment. It's a lifestyle. It's not luck. It's labor. It's not magic. It's motion. People often say they want success, but most aren't ready for the grind that comes with it. They want the glory without the grind, the results without the repetition. But success sees through that. It doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It doesn't bow to words. It only bends to work. That's why success always finds its way to the worker. Because while dreamers talk about one day, workers are busy turning one day into day one. In the end, the difference between the dreamer and the worker is simple. The dreamer imagines the life they want. The worker earns it. Success doesn't care about your intentions. It only rewards your execution. And when it's time to hand out respect, it doesn't go to the loudest voice or the biggest dream. It goes to the one who never stopped working. The real test of character isn't how hard you work when people are watching. It's how relentless you are when nobody sees you. Grinding when no one's watching is where greatness is born. It's in the quiet hours, in the lonely mornings, in the late nights when the world is asleep and you're still pushing that true growth happens. Most people crave recognition. They want applause, validation, and proof that their effort matters. But the truth is, the grind doesn't reward the loud. It rewards the consistent. The moments you think no one notices are the moments that define you. Because when the spotlight fades and the crowd disappears, all that's left is you and your work ethic. Grinding in silence is the ultimate discipline. It means showing up when there's no one to impress, no one to motivate you, and no one to hold you accountable but yourself. It's easy to work hard when you know someone's watching, when the cameras are on, or when praise is guaranteed. But when it's just you tired, uncertain, and alone, that's when the real battle begins. That's where most people quit. They stop because there's no instant reward. But the ones who keep going in that darkness, who grind in the unseen, are the ones who rise when the light returns. The quiet grind builds a kind of strength that public motivation can't. It teaches you to depend on discipline, not emotion. It hardens your mindset and proves that your commitment is real. You're not doing it for likes, for views, or for approval. You're doing it because the mission matters to you. And that kind of purpose is unstoppable. When you grind alone, you learn to trust your own process. You stop chasing external motivation and start generating internal fire. That's where power comes from knowing you can rely on yourself when no one else shows up. Every legend was once unseen. Every champion trained in silence before the world noticed. The world doesn't see the sweat, the hours, the sacrifices, or the pain behind the scenes. They only see the outcome. They see the highlight reel, not the practice sessions that no one filmed. But those unseen moments are where the foundation is built. The grind in private creates confidence in public. You can't fake preparation. You can't cheat effort. The truth always shows itself under pressure. And if you've been doing the work in silence, the results will speak for you when it counts. Grinding when no one's watching is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's a promise you keep to yourself that says, I don't need approval to perform. It's the refusal to let comfort win. It's about pushing through the boredom, the exhaustion, and the doubt because you know that consistency compounds. Every rep you do in silence adds up. Every hour of focus builds a layer of resilience. And one day, when opportunity knocks, you'll be ready. Not because luck found you, but because your unseen grind prepared you. So when the crowd is gone and the motivation fades, keep working. When you're tired, keep moving. When nobody claps, clap for yourself. The grind doesn't need an audience. It needs commitment. The world may not see your effort now, but one day, your results will make it impossible for them to ignore you. Pain is a down payment for greatness because nothing extraordinary is built without sacrifice. Every success story, every victory, every achievement worth remembering is written in the language of pain. The truth is simple. If you want to rise above average, you have to be willing to suffer more than most. Pain is the teacher that strips away weakness, ego, and excuses until all that's left is the real you. The world's tough. It doesn't care about your comfort or your plans. It exposes what you're made of. The moments that hurt the most are often the ones that shape you the most because pain is not there to destroy you, it's there to prepare you. People try to avoid pain. They run from discomfort, they hide from struggle, and they pray for ease. But what they don't understand is that every time you avoid pain, you also avoid progress. The same weight that breaks one person builds another. The difference is perspective. Pain can either crush you or carve you, depending on how you respond. It's the price of entry for every level of greatness. You can't skip it, you can't fake it, and you can't replace it. The grind demands pain because it knows that without it, there's no growth, no evolution, no transformation. Pain teaches you discipline. It teaches you to keep showing up when nothing seems to work. It humbles you and forces you to earn every inch of progress. It builds patience and persistence because when everything hurts, you learn to stop depending on motivation and start relying on commitment. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, how can I get better from this? That shift in mindset is where the journey changes. Pain doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're in the process of becoming something greater than you were yesterday. Every great athlete, leader, or visionary has walked through the fire of pain. They've failed, fallen, been rejected, and doubted. But they never ran from it. They used that pain as fuel, as a reminder that comfort is the enemy of greatness. Each setback, each heartbreak, each sleepless night becomes a lesson in endurance. When you learn to embrace pain instead of fearing it, you unlock a power that most people never find. Pain gives you depth. It gives you hunger. It gives you the strength to go further when others stop. The beauty of pain is that it always demands payment up front, but delivers reward later. It's the down payment for every dream you chase. You pay with sweat, with struggle, with sacrifice, and in return you gain strength, wisdom, and resilience. Pain sharpens your focus and reminds you of why you started. It separates the wishful thinker from the committed workers. Because only those who are willing to hurt for what they want ever get to hold it in their hands. You can't build greatness on comfort. You can't chase success and avoid pain at the same time. The people who rise to the top are the ones who embrace the grind, who walk through the storms and refuse to quit, no matter how much it hurts. Pain is the path. It's the test you must pass before you reach the next level. Every drop of sweat, every scar, every tear is proof that you're paying your dues. And one day, when the results come, when you finally stand at the top, you'll realize that every ounce of pain was worth it. Because that's the price greatness demands. Consistency beats intensity because greatness is never built in a single moment of effort. It's built through the discipline to show up day after day, even when the fire fades. Intensity is flashy. It's the big push, the dramatic surge of energy that feels powerful in the moment. But it's temporary. It burns bright and dies fast. Consistency, on the other hand, is quiet and unglamorous. It doesn't seek attention. It's the steady rhythm of repetition, the daily grind that compounds over time until results become inevitable. Success doesn't come from one powerful burst of energy. It comes from 1,000 small steps taken with purpose and persistence. Most people start strong. They're motivated, inspired, and ready to give everything on day one. But when the excitement fades, when the routine sets in, they slow down or quit. That's because they chase intensity instead of consistency. Intensity is fueled by emotion, but consistency is powered by commitment. It's easy to go hard for a week. It's hard to show up for a year. The truth is, those who master consistency will always outperform those who rely on bursts of intensity. Because consistency builds habits, and habits shape destiny. Consistency is the reason why the strongest athletes, the best entrepreneurs, and the most disciplined individuals reach the top. They understand that repetition is power. Every day they train their mind and body to perform even when motivation isn't there. They don't rely on perfect conditions or high energy. They rely on their routine. It's the boring, unseen, repetitive work that creates real transformation. The body adapts, the mind strengthens, and the results stack quietly in the background until one day, everyone else calls it success. Intensity can spark the journey, but consistency finishes it. The problem with intensity is that it depends on feeling good, and feelings are unreliable. Some days you wake up motivated, and some days you don't. But consistency doesn't care how you feel. It's about showing up regardless. It's about doing the work even when you're tired, frustrated, or uninspired. That's where real discipline lives. It's not about how loud your effort is. It's about how loyal you are to your process. When you choose consistency, you build momentum. Each day of effort adds another brick to your foundation. It might not look like much in the beginning, but over time it compounds into something powerful. Every rep, every hour, every small act of discipline matters. Consistency builds trust in yourself because you learn that you can rely on your actions, not your emotions. You stop chasing motivation because you've built something stronger, a standard. Success doesn't reward the person who works the hardest once. It rewards the one who works steadily always. The consistent one keeps moving forward when the intense one burns out. The consistent one learns patience, resilience, and control. They understand that greatness isn't about doing more once. It's about doing enough repeatedly. The world remembers the ones who stayed the course, not the ones who started fast and faded away. So when you feel like giving up, remind yourself. Consistency will take you further than intensity ever could. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. Keep showing up, keep stacking days, and let time do its work. Because at the end of the road, it's not the loudest, fastest, or strongest who win. It's the ones who never stop showing up. Hustle has no off-season because success doesn't take breaks. The grind doesn't pause when life gets comfortable, and progress doesn't wait for the perfect time. Those who achieve greatness understand that the moment you stop pushing forward, you start falling behind. The world is always moving, opportunities are always shifting, and the clock never stops ticking. Hustle is not a temporary effort, it's a permanent mindset. It's a way of life that demands consistency, resilience, and hunger long after others have settled. When everyone else is relaxing, the hustler is still improving. When others slow down, the hustler shifts gears. That's the difference between the average and the exceptional. One stops when they're tired. The other keeps going until the job is done. True hustle doesn't recognize weekends, holidays, or comfort zones. It's not about being busy, it's about being committed. It's about understanding that progress doesn't come from occasional effort. It comes from daily dedication. The best don't grind only when they feel like it. They grind because they've made it who they are. The hustle becomes a part of their identity. They don't need to remind themselves to work. It's automatic, instinctive, built in their DNA. They wake up every day with the same fire, the same hunger to be better than yesterday. When you live with that mindset, every day becomes a chance to grow. You stop seeing breaks as relief and start seeing them as opportunities to refocus. You don't coast when things are going well. You double down, because comfort is the enemy of progress and success is not permanent. The moment you relax, someone hungrier starts catching up. That's why the true hustler never stops. They celebrate victories but never get comfortable. They understand that success is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Hustle has no off-season because life has no guarantees. You never know when your chance will come, so you stay ready. You train, you study, you prepare, even when there's no spotlight. The hustle is about being ready when others aren't. It's about staying sharp when others are sleeping. You can't flip a switch and expect to perform at your best. Greatness doesn't work like that. It rewards those who are consistent, not convenient. The difference between a dreamer and a door is that the door keeps hustling after the dreamer stops talking. When the crowd disappears and the applause fades, the hustler is still there, putting in the work. They know that there's always another level, another challenge, another reason to push harder. It's not obsession, it's purpose. Hustlers don't see the grind as punishment, they see it as privilege. They know that the ability to work, to grow, to improve, is a gift that shouldn't be wasted. So when you reach a goal, don't stop. When you win, don't get lazy. The hustle doesn't end because you've succeeded once. Every victory is just the beginning of a new standard. You can't claim to want greatness and still look for breaks. Hustle has no off-season because success has no finish line. The hunger must stay alive even when the results come. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep evolving. Keep working. Because the moment you slow down, the grind will remind you. You can't take time off from your purpose.